Hi Gemini, welcome to your monthly reading for October 2022. This is going to be for Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Some of you are intuitively guided. Some of you are in love with the Gemini. So whatever brought you, I say welcome. I do want to say, Mercury has been in retrograde, which is the ruler of Gemini. I'm a Gemini Moon. Virgo Sun, so got a lot of Mercury in my chart. Anyways, it's going direct on the 2nd of October, which is good news. Also, we have the full moon. I forget what day it's on. I think it's the 9th, and that is in Aries, which I feel is going to be very good for you. I feel like it's going to stir up your curiosity, your mind, and action. I feel like it's going to be very charming type of energy for you. It just feels good. I'm not basing this on anything other than what I feel my guides are telling me, because I don't know that much about astronomy, but that I do know. So anyways, let's go ahead and get into your reading. I do want you to know that any donations today are going to go to my daughter, who, like many of you, through COVID has suffered financially terribly. And she's in quite a pickle right now. So, if you donate, I want you to know that that's where it's going to go. It's going to help her. So my appreciation first and foremost, and my appreciation for you just being here. There's a million different videos you can choose, right? These are not short videos. These are longer videos. You want to know that going in, commit to it. But let's get into your reading. So we're going to use Mother Mary Oracle, get our words of wisdom. I chose the Cosmic Chariot to do your clarifying today. I like the Cosmic Chariot, and I haven't used it, in a while. I used to use it all the time. So we're going to bring it back out for you. And for your main spread, we're going to use the Light Seers Tarot, another one I love. I love all my decks. Okay, but let's go ahead and begin. Everything is pre-shuffled, but I do like to give it a shuffle for you. All right, let's begin, Gemini. Prayer. Instead of worrying, I pray about the situation to bring about real solutions. Instead of worrying, I pray about this situation to bring about real solutions. Prayer. The power of prayer. Okay, let's go ahead. And we'll read that at the end. I'm telling you, that's where the words are most profound. But it'll also be in our reading. I already know that. All right, one more shuffle. Get a nice clean shuffle. Let's give him a cut. I had someone leave a comment saying that they don't really like me just pulling off the top and just letting the story unveil itself, which, I completely understand that comment. Most people do like you to shuffle. But I have to tell you, I first and foremost have learned to trust my intuition. I am going to shuffle for these cards, but, I do, if I feel that it's meant to come off the top, then that's how I do it. So, I trust my intuition above all, even though I listen to your comments. I take them into consideration always. Maybe that's why I'm shuffling today. All right, let's see what's going on. October 2022, of course, time is fluid. So whenever this reaches you, or you find it, will be the perfect time. All right, so we start with the 5 of Pentacles. me fix this. Bring the lid down. 5 of Pentacles. Okay, so, it's not the greatest card because it talks about something that has happened that was really outside your control. This is the energy of like feels like you're thrown out into the cold, but you don't really have the luxury of like sitting back and doing nothing, right? I have to keep moving through this energy. It can certainly talk about job loss. It feels like something outside your control. It is a 5, so it brought some type of change. I know a lot of people they get nervous when they see this card, but I don't. I know that it means there was a struggle, or I'm going through a struggle, but I know in the same breath it means you're coming out the other side. Because in this energy, if I'm really open to it, I can really see how I'm learning empathy and compassion. Maybe because now I've been through it, that type of energy. And that wisdom is something that will come into play in the future, some way, somehow. Whether you're helping another because you now understand it, or you can easily help yourself, right? Like, this isn't going to happen again. So we'll see. But 5 does signify change. I want to say here, too, if you just look at the image, like, look how her head is down, right? It's like her head is down, but right over here is a key. I mean, it couldn't be any bigger, right? This key unlocks the next door. But she's kind of lost in what has happened, right? But nonetheless, the key is still there. So whenever she comes out of this type of energy, hopefully she sees that key and unlocks the next door. And I have a feeling we're going to find out what's behind that door. I feel like Drew Carey or Bob Barker. What's behind door number 5? Okay, well, look at this. First of all, the Tower is in reverse. Interesting, because that's exactly what I was feeling. Like, the wisdom I learned through this experience, even though it may be difficult, can ward off the future towers. So there's something important in this energy, right? In this 5 of Pentacles. Again, it doesn't feel great. I know that. But in the same breath, it's bringing you some type of change. And I feel like the change, again, though, I have to get through the choppy waters, are definitely going to benefit you, especially with that Tower in reverse. Okay, we got a lot of cards. We have the Moon. The Moon. Card of Pisces. Ruler of Cancer. The Moon is, uncertainty. It's uncertainty because it's nighttime, right? Like I can't see. Maybe all I can see is right in front of me, but maybe that's all I need to see is what's right in front of me. Maybe this is talking about not planning out a whole life, but planning out day by day. Wow. Ace of Cups. Okay. Unconditional love. Looks like someone's heart center is being activated. We have the 5 of Wands coming under that 5 of Pentacles. The change, right? Change, 2 5s. But if we look at what the change is coming from, again, this 5 of Pentacles, so feels somewhat out of my control, but in the same breath, the 5 of Wands being under that feels like, there's been a lot of drama in my life. There's been a lot of ego, let's say. It could have been someone who has a big ego. I could have been pulled into that drama, and it doesn't serve me. This is a type of energy where if I'm looking for an apology from someone, I'm probably not going to get it. And sometimes I just have to accept that. And no apology is, kind of like the answer, I feel like. But anyways, and I feel like we also got to look at ourselves in this energy, because this is the energy of sometimes being pulled into it, right? Can be a lot of arguing and fighting and, a lot of ego and that type of energy. But it's a 5, so it wants to go. I do feel like it's relating to someone else. Alright, we have the Queen of Wands. Can be an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And then look at this, we have the Empress. So Gemini, I feel like, if nothing else, you have learned a lot in your life. I feel like in your last cycle, because these changes are coming, I feel like there is an opportunity to truly learn a lot. The Ace of Cups is mirroring this 5 of Pentacles. So I have a feeling this girl, or this woman, feels like her life is over. This is it. No more love. Yet, what's mirroring it is the Ace of Cups. So I may think that there's no more love, in whatever form, but it's telling you the opposite. And I feel like what it's saying is, when this person does turn around and does see that key, they're going to unlock that door. And by unlocking that door, I feel like it then, it's like the Ace of Cups is behind that door. I was just going to say, it's almost like that door needs to be illuminated, and it is. And I'm saying that because this is unconditional love. Unconditional love. So I just expected that it would be illuminated behind this door. And it is. It's the first time I looked at it like that. So, if we look at these 2 cards, this is where I feel like there's a lot of drama going on, let's just say. But this Queen, if we look at her, she's looking right over at this 5 of Wands, and she looks like she's rising above it, right? I'm rising above this egotistical type energy. I'm rising above the drama. I'm not going to allow it to affect me. We're going into an Aries full moon, right? We have the moon. I feel like that's what it's saying. This moon may help us rise above what we felt like earlier we could not. And then the Empress. Wow. It's like we open with a difficult card, right? Struggle in some way, some fashion. Yet at the same time, and I get that this person may think that this is it, my life is over, there's no more love, or whatever it is that I'm seeking or have lost. But truth be told, this is really the energy as you go through this. It's going to teach you in one way of how to avoid these towers. Maybe avoid a certain type of person. You know what I mean? I don't know. Just, whoever that may be. The Empress is someone who has definitely learned from her experiences, and she's been through it. She's been through it all. But she's someone also, I love that she's coming under the moon, because I feel like the moon, especially in Aries, is bringing you a lot of inspired type action, a lot of inspired type abilities. The Empress is someone who gives birth to these ideas. So, like I use my daughter for example when I think of this, because she's someone who does receive like epiphany after epiphany after epiphany, and she writes them down but doesn't always put them into action. She's starting to, because she's starting to see that pattern. And, you know, that's what the Empress does. Now, maybe not every idea, but I feel like this is also inspired, guided, let's say. You know, how do I reach the Empress's energy? I just rise above the drama of other people. I use my wisdom from my lifetime, this lifetime and every lifetime. You know, I use that wisdom moving forward. See what comes under the Ace of Cups next to the Empress. You know, and I feel like also, just real quick note, I do feel like there may be someone out there who may have found out that they're pregnant and they have concerns about it. You know, maybe have had a miscarriage before. And I don't normally talk about this, but I do feel like this is saying that I do feel like there's going to be a healthy birth. Okay. We have the Strength card of Leo, coming under the Ace of Cups. And then it's coming with the Nine of Wands. Actually, I think what we're going to do is go ahead and take another row. This is your monthly after all, so they are longer. So, the Strength card. Let's talk about that for a second. Number one, it's an 8. Which speaks about new beginnings. You know, when you think of Leo, Leo has a lot of new beginnings. You know, seeks the limelight. And by the way, I feel like the Aries moon, full moon. Now, listen, I don't mean just until the moon. I feel from the moon on. What was I going to say? I'm not even sure. Anyways, oh, well, new beginnings. So this is about taming the beast within ourselves. Understanding the beast within ourselves, and we all have it, right? It doesn't mean it comes out, you know, like we can control it though. That's what the Strength card is. It's learning how to balance that beast, whatever it may be. And for a time being, it may have been drama. It may have been ego. Again, getting pulled into something. It's like I'm fighting for something that honestly doesn't seem worth fighting for. Now, maybe for you it is worth fighting for, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel worth fighting for. And that's why the Strength card is mirroring that. You know, simply put, I feel like when we understand that when we go through difficult times, and if there's, you know, let's say this is a relationship and there's a lot of ego involved, and maybe I'm not naturally that way, I'm not really a drama-filled person, but when I'm around a certain type of energy, it comes out of me, right? Or I'm not normally a jealous person, but when I'm around a certain energy, it comes out in me. Well, they're probably giving you a reason to feel that way. You know, and I feel like if that happens, then you're at a crossroads. Like, do you stay or do you go? You know, I'm not trying to influence you one way or the other, because I feel like it has to come from you. These 5 speak of change. One is out of your control, but the other is not. The Strength card speaks of a new beginning. I almost feel like the sun should come out. Maybe it will. All right, we have the Nine of Wands. You know, and the Nine of Wands speaks, first of all, I have a feeling this is like the last cycle that you were on. The Nine of Wands speaks about a period of time where it did feel like there's a lot of responsibility, right? But at the same time, an opportunity to learn a lot. Sometimes what I have to learn in this energy is maybe I take on more responsibility than need be. Like I take on other people's responsibilities, and therefore, my life suffers. So it's just the realization. 9 is always the reflection, right? Reflect back just to extract the wisdom, not to remember the pain, anything like that, just to extract the wisdom. How did I get there? How did I get to these 5s? Now, these 5s, because I feel like the 5s give us an opportunity to stop, examine our lives. And if we don't, then we continue on. And sometimes, these 5s will then, let's say the 5 of Wands moves into the 10 of Wands. Well, we don't want that. But the 5 has moved to the 9. So I feel like the more reflection I can have over what happened here, and sometimes if it's out of my control, it's just out of my control. But that doesn't mean my life is over, right? Because there's a new door that's waiting to be opened. So first, the reflection. What can I learn from that? How can I help myself? I don't want to say guarantee yourself, because, it's hard to guarantee anything. But how can I best guarantee that I don't go through that again? I already know with the Tower in reverse and the Empress here that, this has been a very learning period for you. But boy, does it serve you well. Or it can serve you well. All right, let's keep going. Remember, prayer. Instead of worrying, I pray about the situation to bring about a real solution. If I'm trying to change someone who's in this 5 of Wands, it's not happening. It doesn't feel like that's going to happen. But you can try. Like putting out everybody else's fires. Look at that. I don't think you do. I think you've had enough too. I feel like you've come to the realization, whatever this is relating to. Again, it doesn't even have to be about romance. Just be about your life, right? And, giving more than I receive. 8 of Cups means I'm moving on. I'm out of here. I feel like she's finding that lock or that key, and she's going to unlock the door. This is again an 8. I'm giving myself a new beginning. I do feel like at this point you've reflected over whatever that Tower was, and I do feel like it is setting you up for a lot of strength, opportunity, newness, maybe love. It also explains why that Tower is in reverse, because in the 8 of Cups, we've reflected in our emotional house. This is normally where we store a lot of our pain. So we've reflected upon that, right? Maybe I kept trying to change someone who just is, at this point, unchangeable, right? But I kept trying, but it just didn't seem to happen. Maybe you got tired of carrying someone else's responsibility. It's like, are we a team here, or is it, 90% my giving? So it's these realizations and understanding them without judging yourself. We all make mistakes, but truly those mistakes are a great place to look and then to learn from. We have the Seven of Wands. And then look at this. We have the Chariot. Chariot is a card of Cancer. Interesting, it's coming right under the Strength card because they are neighbors, Leo and Cancer. Ace of Cups is right above that. You know, to me, the Chariot means it comes when you're able to handle it. And I feel like what it's saying here is when you find the balance within yourself. I mean, look at this person. She's not in the Strength card. She's not judging herself, right? She's just understanding herself. Sometimes we feel weak, and this is showing you that, you know, I mean, she's part lion, part woman. And then she's got that gentle little lamb on her lap, sitting right next to the Empress. So, you know, the Empress speaks of love and nurturing and caring. But she's nobody's fool at the same time. She's been there. She understands it. It's interesting that the Seven of Wands is right below that. Because I feel like a lot of us, you know, as we go through difficult situations, in some way turn around and help others who maybe are now walking in our footsteps. But now we understand it. So I love that the Empress has the Seven of Wands. Now, Seven of Wands means defending, like feeling that need of, like, I need to defend myself. But I feel this is different here. First of all, I'm feeling the 7, which is about spirituality. I feel that in here. So I feel like it's almost like the Empress is helping others, you know, like cross the dark street. Because she knows the street. She can walk that street into pitch black. So she's helping others. Chariot is about mind control, really. Because it is your mind, your intentions that tell the horses where to go. It's not the reins, right? It's not the reins. Now listen, you know, there's one black horse and one white horse, and I feel like that's us. That's the balance of us. Excuse me. When the Chariot shows up, though, it really is giving you unlimited potential. Really, unlimited potential. Like if somebody said, Sandy, how far, let's say this is talking about love, how far could it go? It can go as far as you want it to go. You know, it depends on those two people and their free will, and if they're willing to put the energy in. But I feel like if it's speaking about love that exists after I open this door, I already know that it's good. I already know that. The Chariot is mirrored by the Nine of Wands. So the reflection, right? Reflection. You know, when you look at this person in the Nine of Wands, she's like busting out of her clothes. That's because her spiritual muscles are growing. She's learned a lot about her spirituality. If she was willing to do this reflection, I think she does. I think she does, because the Chariot kind of tells us that. Closing the door to one thing. I'm walking away. Now, am I physically walking away? I don't know. But I know one thing. It's like it's a change in your life. And it feels good. Almost like, you know, like, Sandy, I'm sick and tired of this emotional crap. You know what I mean? It's up and it's down and it's up and it's down. Okay, well, what control do you have over that? What control do you have over that? Well, we had the Lovers, not at the bottom, but it wanted to be seen. This is the card of Gemini. This can mean a head over heart decision, and it could mean that for some of you because of that Five of Pentacles. But this is really, look at that. That's really the bottom of the deck, the World, the next chapter. This is why we're seeing these fives. I feel like I got till the moon. So, we don't want to fear moving into this next chapter, especially the World. the world talks about. I feel like it's one of the best chapters of our life. I feel like this is also the chapter where we feel closest to God, or our spirituality is really ignited in this type of energy. Definitely the Empress feels right at home in the world's energy. And again, the Lovers under that. Well, the Lovers can signify either someone who hurt me here, or in this Ace of Cups, but we'll figure that out. All right, let's bring in the Cosmic Tarot. Give it a shuffle. All right, let's give them a cut. Introduce them into the reading. Almost feel like I gotta leave the Lovers peeking out a little bit with the world. What's under that? The Six of Pentacles. Give and take. Maybe someone has just been taken and not giving. Look at this. We have the Six of Wands coming over the Five of Pentacles. First of all, this is great energy for the full moon, because this is exactly what I feel for you. This is, I always feel, I don't know why I feel this, but I feel very charming type energy, very alluring type energy, and you're the one who has it, and other people recognizing that. This is the energy of victory. So, you know, whatever has made you feel like you were thrown out into the cold, you will overcome it. Matter of fact, I don't know, like, because you're able to overcome it, it feels like it puts a spotlight on you, but in a good way. In a good way. You know, this is people looking up to you, not necessarily for your words, but because of your actions. Like, you know, like appreciating actions that you do, that you take. Go from the 5 to the 6. All right, let's keep going. We have the Wheel. The Wheel coming over the reversal of the Tower. We'll take it. Destiny. Now listen, that means that certain towers that happen were meant to happen. Why? Why, Sandy? Well, because truly we learn more in the difficulty than we do in the joy. You know, it's like if we've never been at the bottom of the wheel, we'll never appreciate the top. Because we've been at the bottom, boy, that top is sweet, right? Now we get it. Now we understand it. Now we appreciate it. Now we want to hang on to it. But we also want to look at this as a way of, this is probably, these towers are probably part of your soul's agreement in this lifetime. You know, I feel like those who feel like they've been dealt like a tough hand in life, it's because your soul is tough. Maybe your humanness doesn't feel it yet, but your soul, your spirit, like, let me at it. I can overcome it, right? And then it's like a graduation of your soul. Destined. Yes, even the towers. Look at this, the World again, and now it's coming directly over the moon. You know, I'm doing this reading like 3 days early. You know, I'm saying it's early. I think it's right on time, but I feel like I'm saying this because I feel like the moon is going to have a big influence in your life. I feel like this next chapter, I can't know everything, I can't. I don't know if it's going to take me to the Ten of Cups. I don't know if it's going to take me to the Ten of Pentacles. But what I am going to do is start to actively work that way, think that way, put my actions towards what it is I want. Again, spirituality, a big part of your path. Maybe that's what you've been learning. Some of you, it could certainly speak about a Pisces or a Cancer that is coming into this chapter with you. I'm saying chapter, let's say, you know, but I often feel like whatever enters my life in the world's energy is there to stay. You know what I mean? Because the Tower is reversed again. I feel like the Towers are few in between. And if I receive a Tower through the Empress's energy, especially with the Strength card right there, listen, it's a molehill compared to the mountains I have climbed. We have the Queen of Swords coming right over this Ace of Cups. Don't deny it's not for you. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Look at the Lovers behind her in the window. There they are. The Lovers. And it's coming over the Ace of Cups. You know what I feel? I don't know why all of a sudden I feel this. I feel sometimes we give a title to someone who doesn't quite deserve that title. And that may mean, listen, I could have been with a soulmate, and maybe their job as a soulmate was to come in and teach me, or me teach them, or both, some heavy lessons. You know, soulmates are to help each other, but that doesn't mean it's always like in a, you know, in a fuzzy, lovey kind of way. Sometimes it's difficult, but I feel like nonetheless, sometimes we have to realize that we give these titles to maybe people who don't really deserve those titles. And what I'm saying is, like, let's say this, I thought someone was a twin flame, but their energy is just, you know, has just done a number on me. Well, listen, I'm not going to, maybe they are your twin flame, but because there can be a lot of friction. But I also feel the energy of sometimes people giving someone a title that really is not theirs, right? But if we give them that title, and I'm saying that because I feel like this may be talking about love, or the Lovers that I thought I had. But I have a feeling now I'm about to find out the difference. You know, it's interesting because if you're in love as the Empress, boy, love is good. Now, it's not guaranteed, right? But it's good. Why? Because she's very independent. Because she knows who she is, because she's creative. She's got many outlets to bring out her creativity. If someone tried to stifle that, she couldn't take it. She would walk away from it. I don't know why I'm saying all that. I'm saying that, I guess, because I feel like someone that I thought was my everything maybe is not. But that doesn't mean that someone who is my everything has not come in yet. That's what I feel. And I feel once you clear the energy of these fives, you'll feel that too. All right, we have the Two of Swords coming over these fives. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? You know, it's kind of getting hung up in that energy. We have, look at that, the Five of Wands again. And then look at this, the 10 of Cups coming over the Empress, below the World. How interesting. I'm saying that because when I look over here, I can feel the energy of confusion, right? It's like maybe someone ghosted me, maybe someone threw me out into the cold, however that may be. It probably is not a one-time thing. It probably, especially with the wheel kind of over that, it may be somewhat of a pattern, you know. But, and then you have the 5 of Wands twice here. So a lot of drama, a lot of ego, a lot of battling each other. But then the 2 of Swords puts a question on it. What do I do about it? Should I stay in it? It's interesting because there's that full moon. Her swords are down here. Normally you'll see someone in the 2 of Swords where they're crossing, like they're crossing their opportunity. They have a blindfold on. But she doesn't have a blindfold on though. And her swords are down. I almost feel like you made a decision here. Let's just put it this way. I feel like by the full moon, or let's just say within Aries, you know, we're just coming out of the harvest full moon for September, into what they call the hunter's moon. I think that's because, I don't know why. I'm sure it's because of the brightness of the sun, of the moon. I don't know. But I know it's called the hunter's moon. Anyway, I'm just really noticing that moon. So I feel like, you know, the blindfolds are off here. Her swords are down. She's no longer in a defensive mode. Now she's just questioning, what do I do next? Right? Like, listen, I feel like, are you accepting less than what you deserve? Now, I'm saying that because the 10 of Cups comes over the Empress and under the World. Now, we opened with the 5 of Pentacles, where this person thought, you know, doesn't even believe this exists yet. And I get it. But I do think that someone in here doesn't even believe that this can exist. Can't have the 10 of Cups in love. It's impossible. It's not true. We have the 8 of Wands, fast-moving energy. What I think about, I bring about. You know, when I look at this card, I think of like 4 of those wands going out, 4 wands coming back. So it's my intentions coming back to me. Well, if I have evolved into the Empress's energy, and that just means I found a sense of independence within myself. I allow, you know, I don't allow life to make me hard. You know, I can have a choice here with all this difficult energy. I can become, you know, I can close myself off. I can say no to love. I can say no to new opportunities, right? I can just stay with my head down. That's kind of up to me, though. I don't think the universe will allow too long. Excuse me. Or I can think, well, you know what? Maybe the universe is trying to, in fact, did have my back and is trying to move me into a much more balanced type energy and probably love. So your intentions are very, very important at the same time. Don't believe that you can't have the 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups is love, right? But it's love, it's harmony, it's laughter, it's joy. But it doesn't guarantee that there is no towers. But what it does is it talks about, you know, everybody involved in the Ten of Cups working together, right? So those towers don't have an effect. We're going to get through it together. Here, I feel like you're kind of on your own. Eight of Wands. What I think about, I bring about. Fast-moving energy. 2 8s, by the way. 88. That may... someone may have been born in 88. And then, look at this. We have the Emperor. So we have the Empress's match. The Emperor. The Emperor, first of all, it's like mother and father right here. Mother and father. And then Ten of Cups over that. It's kind of beautiful, right? Husband and wife. Or, you know, husband and husband, wife and wife, however you want to look at it. They are each other's match, even though they're really quite opposite of each other. And I feel like that's really why it works. You know, the Empress is, again, you know, she rules the world with love and nurturing. She is very creative. And when I say creative, doesn't mean that, you know, I have to be a painter or a, you know, an artist or play an instrument. It can be in anything, like in tarot. It can be anything. It's just giving birth to those ideas that you have and allowing them to roll. The Emperor is a little bit different. He's more methodical, puts a plan in place. You know, both really are the ruler of the people. But boy, if they do it together, wow. Card of Aries, I don't know if I said that. We have the Six of Pentacles. Coming over that Eight of Cups. We have the Ten of Wands. Interesting. Let's get the one over the Chariot, and then we'll talk about these. And then we have the Fool. Coming over the Chariot. The Fool. You know, these thighs and these eights are saying that, right? There's change, yes. Change isn't always easy, but here it definitely feels beneficial. Eights, a brand new day. You know, opening yourself wide to what the universe wants to bring in. I feel, almost with no doubt, that with this Ten of Wands coming over this Seven of Wands, again, defending oneself, but she's not doing it in a defensive type energy. It's almost like the Empress is helping others to defend themselves now. Again, using my experiences to help others. Nothing feels better, if you ask me. You know, like when you guys really, really get a reading, and you get it all, like you get the lessons, and you also see the joy that's available. That, to me, is my payback. Like, it brings me joy to bring you joy. But, you know, I don't want to, I'm not one of those tarot readers that we're going to skip all the lessons, all the ways we get to this 10. Right? There's a lot of energy of letting go of. You know, listen, if somebody was ghosting me, I don't know why I'm using that word, there's your answer. There's your answer. In this reading, I feel. Now, not always, but here I feel that. because it's almost like I feel like if someone's not ghosting me, then when we do speak, it's fighting. I'm either being ghosted or fighting. Is that how you want to live your life? I don't think so. I feel like what you're doing now is you're really finding a beautiful balance within your life. I feel like some of you, some of these chapters are ending and the energy of the world is opening. Maybe it doesn't open until you take that key and unlock that door. Again, I see the illumination of the sun under that door, or the Ace of Cups under that door. But I'm the one who's got to unlock it. The Fool tells me you do. The Fool says you're willing to take a chance on yourself. The Fool doesn't carry the energy of the past. The wisdom, yes. The Fool also has, I want you to think of this next period in your life. Keep your eyes open for particular people who cross your path. And let me give you an example. Like, Sam was at the grocery store the other day, and a man in a wheelchair asked him to reach up and get him some iced tea. So he did, and the man then said some very profound words to him. And when Sam was telling me, it brought tears to his eyes. And I said, that was a soulmate that was put in place for you. That soulmate was there to get you to start thinking along those terms. I mean, it was really quite beautiful. But I knew immediately, that is our life's plan. These soulmates come in when they're meant to, sometimes for a second, right? But sometimes for a lifetime. Anyways, the Fool. Take a chance on yourself. Take a chance on what can be. Instead of worrying, I pray about this situation to bring about real solutions. Well, I feel like you're receiving the answers. Now you just got to move along them. I feel like, again, I feel like I have to keep going back to this fives, because they are difficult energy. And sometimes we think we cannot get beyond them. But you can. You can. But in the same time, I feel like if I'm with someone who's giving me no respect, then if I do nothing about that, or I keep taking it, then I have to start looking at me. Like, why do I think I am not better than that? Right? Like, like advice I give my daughters, allow someone to pursue you and then allow them to reveal who they truly are. They will. Anyway. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I want to look at here? Here we have the Queen of Swords. The Lovers is right behind her, coming over this Ace of Cups. We have this Ten of Cups. It's part of the next chapter. Does it exist in your world? It certainly can. It does take, I have to be, I have to be ready. If I'm not ready, then, if I can't, like the Empress, it's really important to understand the Empress doesn't let life make her hard and cold. No, she takes the time to learn about the patterns in her life, right? Where did I give away my power? All aspects of oneself, the light and the dark. And then knowing that I can control that. I have control over that. It is self. So I feel like this Empress has come a long way. Or you will, you know, I do feel like you're moving out of that 5 into the Empress's energy. And that is when the world starts opening up to you. So this next chapter is opening. It just is. And I feel like, ready or not, here I come. All right, let's just do one more and see if there's anything else that wants to come out. Anything else. And, you know, and I also feel like, listen, maybe it's not, for some, not even speaking of love. It may be talking about love of what you do. Like, you know, maybe I have lost a good job there. I lost a job. Maybe it wasn't good, but I lost a job nonetheless. I feel like if I stay proactive in, you know, my next steps, I feel like it's like the world opens up to you. Other words, what I mean is I feel like it gives you an opportunity to do what you love, create from what you love. Maybe make your living that way. And then maybe meeting what feels like your match. Well, there is the sun. You know, how interesting, because I felt the sun was going to come out. I just felt it. You know, we do have the sun, the moon, and the Ace of Cups, and the Lovers. And some people do ask me about twin flames. You know, how I determine, first of all, if I feel it. I do feel here that someone, again, was given a wrong title that maybe they don't deserve or they could never live up to. But that doesn't mean that one doesn't exist, right? Because again, this queen has the Lovers behind her. So for some of you, could potentially be a twin, but don't even worry about that, because, you know, no matter what, I feel like all it's saying is just be careful what type of title I give someone, because that can keep me tied to them when in reality it feels like there's something better. The sun. Brand new day. You know, this is the inner child. Allowing the inner child to come out. This is allowing play. Right? We forget to play in our lives. We forget to have fun in our lives. You know, what I love about the sun, it doesn't show it in this card. I think in the Light Seers it does. The person is like in the Superman pose where they're, I know you can't see me, but where they're wide open, like wide open to the universe, like bring it in, right? I'm open. I'm open. Another card of Leo, by the way. Okay. Look at the bottom of that deck. 10 of Swords. Ugh. On the bottom, though. So that's good. So you have the 10 of Wands and the 10 of Swords. But listen, maybe it doesn't even have to go that far. Because you're at the 5s, maybe it doesn't have to go to the 10. Maybe it's just saying that if I'm in a repeat pattern and I notice that, I don't have to go to the 10 of Wands and the 10 of Swords where it becomes ridiculously difficult. I mean, look at this 10 of Swords. I don't like this image, but I understand it. It's like all these daggers are being sent to me and then the daggers come out of my own mouth. Why? Because getting pulled into the drama. Look at that. I just saw the Ace of Pentacles. Alright. Anyway, we don't need that because we have all this. You've had the World, I think, twice. So definitely new chapters opening up. You have the Wheel. It's destined. Even the Towers, you know, unfortunately, but listen, this is where we've gained most of our wisdom. We have the Emperor and the Empress with the Ten of Cups right there and the Sun now connecting them, and then the Fool. This tells me that, listen, it can be, if this is speaking of love for you, I'm not saying it can't be someone of the past, but it's not this person. Not that person. Because I don't feel change on their side. I feel the change is on your side. And I feel that change is just the realization that you deserve better. And when you know that, that's what eventually will find you. The Fool. Taking a chance. Taking a chance. Oh, I know what I was telling you earlier. You know, like, pay attention to the people that you meet along this next journey. Because I often feel like when the Fool shows up, that means that the Magician and the High Priestess and the Emperor and the Empress are already out. Are people that you'll be meeting along your path. The Magician is the Fool's greatest teacher. The Magician reminds the Fool that the Fool has all the tools already necessary to make it through this journey. Keep an eye to the sky. Keep my intentions positive. Like, the Fool thinks everything is possible. All right, let's read prayer, and then I'll let you be. Prayer. This card reminds you of prayer's powerful and positive effects and asks you to apply it to your present situation. This is especially true if you feel stuck, confused, powerless, or in any pain. Surrender these feelings to heaven and ask for divine intervention. Then listen carefully for God's messengers, the angels, who deliver his guidance to you in the forms of feelings, signs, ideas, visions, and dreams. When you worry about a situation, you actually draw to you more negativity and feelings of paralyzing victimhood. So, worrying gives you more things to worry about. In contrast, when you pray, you draw upon the most powerful force in the universe. Mother Mary reminds you to turn worries into prayers by saying, God, please help me with, and then pouring your heart out to God about cares and concerns. You'll notice an emotional release immediately upon praying as you shift from fear to faith. From fear to faith. I love you guys. I thank you for everything. All my gratitude. All my gratitude. Those of you who are still in this 5 type energy, know that you can make changes. You can make changes, and sometimes it's just simply unlocking the next door and then trusting. Trust. You've learned a lot. That's why the Tower's in reverse, because you do have the ability to lessen these towers. Why? Because you have more power. And I mean that in the most loving way. I don't mean power as in, you know what I mean? I mean power as in, I know who I am. At least I'm finding out about who I am and the strength I have within me, and, you know, how my intention is really 9/10 of the law when it comes to manifesting the type of life I want. If it's not serving me, do I want to stay or should I go? If someone's ghosting me, do I stick around? I don't think so. And I'm saying that only because it feels like when I do that, it puts more power in their hands. And almost like I'm saying, I don't feel worthy. right? So I'm going to wait for this person who is just completely disrespecting me. That is your choice. But what if I was to tell you that there is a much better love, or even a much better life that's waiting? You have to unlock that door. There's no way around it. But I do think you do, because the Fool is mirroring that 5. And the Fool is coming over the Chariot. It's almost like a brand new day for you. A brand new way of thinking, a brand new way of acting, a brand new way of being. And it feels good. It feels good. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye-bye.